It was lovely here, of course, and we had loads of fun, but I did miss my family and home. After about a year or so, my sister Pat went back to London because my mother wanted her company, and my brother Alan and I stayed on. With my father being in the army and my mother doing war work, it was very difficult for them to come and visit us. In fact, I think I only saw them about twice in the whole time.
So Pat went home to keep Mum company in London. Like many of us, it is the capital had been a frightening place to live in the early years of the war. But by 1944, the Germans had devised a whole new threat.
The Germans' V-1 missiles were also known, not affectionately, as doodlebugs and buzz bombs because of the low-pitched sound of their jet engines. People still living in the UK target areas became accustomed to the sound. They knew that when the bomb stopped buzzing, the engine had cut out, and it was coming down.
Over the course of 80 days, from June to September 1944, huge numbers of these early cruise missiles were launched from sites on the Dutch and French coasts. The British Army shot down 1,500 with their ack-ack guns, while the Royal Air Force went up and blew 2,000 of them right out of the sky. But for all their efforts, thousands still got through. In 3 months, over 23,000 buildings in the southeast and London were destroyed. The V-1 terror triggered a whole new evacuation known as Operation Rivulet. It started on the 5th of July 1944, and within 3 weeks, almost 180,000 evacuees were sent away from London. The constant bombing of 1944 had a profound effect on the boy in our next story. John, now Dr. Fox, was living with his mother and sister in Kentish Town in London. He remembers the night of the 18th of February, 1944.
The bed was here, and my mother was in the middle, my sister was on the other side, I was on this side. And on the night of 18th and 19th of February 1944, we heard the bomb come down, and she just grabbed us.
The bomb had exploded just 150 yards away.
The image in my mind is the one of noise, of this screaming bomb coming down, and the fear that this was for you.
Then, 7 years old, John had stayed with his mother in London for the whole of the war, but she noticed how the constant bombing and gunfire was taking its toll on him.
At one point, she'd come into a room and seen me screaming silently, and I do remember another occasion when there was heavy bombing and heavy gun firing, and it was really making me very distressed.
Still to come, John retraces his steps to Wales in search of the home that transformed his life, and a reunion with his old schoolmates.
It's going to be nice to see them. Molly and I used to make eyes at each other.
Plus the evacuees who were sent to safety overseas. Some found their haven in various parts of the Commonwealth. Others never made it across the ocean.
Well, the images that I find most heartbreaking are the images of people who were screaming out for their loved ones.